how he thinks the compulsory digital ID will stop illegal immigrants working in this country. I want you to watch how quickly he falls apart in this interview. He can't answer the question because he knows full well that it won't make any difference. We know that this is simply a guise, the digital ID, which is going to be coming, and the things that are going to be coming from this are going to be much more sinister. There's currently a protest outside, of course, the Labour conference this afternoon. We'll probably do another live stream a bit later on covering that. However, I want to show you this really, really bad interview from Keir Starmer from digital IDs, which we're going to get to in a second, and then of course his attack on reform, as well as he simply says that they will deport foreigners and say reform will then cozy up to Putin and that he is a patriot, apparently, Keir Starmer. Let's have a watch of this mess, guys. As always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more. But yeah, firstly, have a watch of this.
One of our viewers got in touch and wanted us to ask this question. Russ Brown wanted us to ask you if you really believe that those profiting from human trafficking will think, oh dear, I have to check your digital ID now. I can't carry on paying you £1.50 an hour to work in my sweatshop.
I'm absolutely convinced that amongst the reasons that people travel through France, which is a safe country, to come to the United Kingdom, amongst the reasons is because it's easier to work in our illegal economy than it is in other countries. And we have to deal with that.
Bosses who are prepared to hire people illegally are not asking them for their national insurance card. So what's the evidence? What makes you think they're suddenly going to ask them for a digital ID?
We need to be really clear. You must have ID, mandatory digital ID, in order to work, because we have to stop illegal working. If you look at any of the raids, we've massively increased the number of raids on working premises. It is absolutely clear that people are working illegally in numbers.
But why do you think that them having a digital ID, having to have a digital ID, would stop that problem when right now people are meant to have a national insurance number and card, and if they're not asked for that, a boss is willing already to break the rules? What's the difference going to be?
Well, the difference is this is on point of starting, not a retrospective exercise as it now is. It is an automatic collection of the information by the government, so we know exactly who is working in our economy, and it will help us enforce the rules that are there. But there's no point people saying to me, why do we need it, when we all acknowledge there is a problem. People are working illegally in our economy. It is amongst the reasons that people want to come to the United Kingdom. We have to deal with that. I made a pledge that we would do whatever was necessary, use whatever tools were available to deal with illegal migration. I intend to do so.
So there you have it again. Look, he literally doesn't answer any of the questions as to what she's saying. He doesn't have the answer because there is no answer. Literally the news reporter is asking the same question as many people are asking, is that, well, why is the digital ID going to make a difference to people that are working in the shadow economy anyway? Well, the answer is plain and simple, it's not. Guys, it's simply a guise. It is a guise to bring this digital ID, and it has nothing to do with illegal immigration. If he was that passionate on stopping illegal immigration, well, then he would simply stop the boats, not piss around with digital IDs and try and stop the shadow economy from working. It just makes no sense. Your brain is probably hurting. My brain hurts as well, but I just gave up with it and thought, actually, there is no actual reason to bring digital ID in to stop illegal immigration. It's simply there to stop. It's simply there to stop our civil liberties going forward. It's simply a guise. Now, again, one thing that Keir Starmer currently has in his head right now is reform. Like them or loathe them or whatever you want with regard to reform, there's one thing is that they are currently smashing Keir Starmer. And, you know, if I'm a betting man, I would say Nigel Farage will be the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. But look at him, listen to him. He's lost the plot entirely. Listen to how he speaks about reform in this video quickly.
It's one thing to say, we're going to remove illegal migrants, people who have no right to be here. I'm up for that. It is a completely different thing to say we are going to reach in to people who are lawfully here and start removing them. They are our neighbours. They're people who work in our economy. They are part of who we are. It will rip this country apart. And if you're patriotic, you want to serve the whole of your country, everybody in your country, and have an ability to bring that country together and walk forward towards the challenges. You cannot do that if you are divisive, if you only truly want to serve a section of our country. And that's why the fight with reform is different. Most elections have always been Labour or Conservative. This is a different election that we're facing. We have not had a proposition like reform in this country ever before. We've seen it in France and Germany and plenty of other countries. This is a different fight. It is a fight about who we are as a country. It goes to the soul of our future. It will be heard and the effects will be there for generations. And that's why I'm saying to my party, it's all very well navel gazing, but we've got a big argument to make here. We've got a big fight that we've got to be in, and we've got to win that fight.
You said that proposal is immoral, to deport people who are already here if they don't pass more stringent rules. Do you think it's a racist policy?
Well, I do think that it is a racist policy. I do think it's immoral. It needs to be called out for what it is.
And do you think that Reform UK is trying to appeal to racists?
No.
This guy has lost the plot, man. He has lost the plot. He is not a patriot whatsoever. He thinks that he's going to be able to do something. I'm sure Reform didn't even say about the way he's kind of gaslighting, manipulating. I don't think Reform said that they're going to deport every immigrant in the country. I think they said they're going to be deporting all illegals or who have no right to be here, is what they said, which is the right thing to do. And he's sort of manipulating it, saying that anyone that's not British and born are being deported. It's just horseshit. And he's completely making up. He should be able to make stuff up in TV interviews here. And again, I think the Reform are really in his head, and there is no way that he's going to beat them. And he's making out he's some sort of patriot as well. Absolutely not. More to the fact as well, there's actually been a revelation as well coming from GB News last night, stating that Keir Starmer is in fact a tax evader. Let's have a little watch of this one as well. My goodness me, this would certainly end him, wouldn't it? Let's have a watch.
Right, breaking news tonight on the Late Show Live. GB News can reveal via the Sunday Times. So Keir Starmer set up a trust in the 1990s that meant land he bought for his parents would never be subject to inheritance tax, whatever its eventual value. Let me just repeat that. Keir Starmer set up a trust in the 1990s that meant land he bought for his parents would never be subject to inheritance tax. The Sunday Times reports he purchased this 7-acre field behind his parents' home in Surrey for £20,000 in 1996, placing it into a trust that gave his parents the right to use the land, but not legal ownership. When they passed away, the trust dissolved and ownership automatically returned to him, so Keir Starmer. Tax specialists told the Sunday Times that this was a tax-efficient structure because the land never formed part of his parents' estate, which otherwise might have been subject to that inheritance tax. By the time Keir Starmer sold the field in 2022 for nearly £320,000, goodness me, its value had risen 15-fold. Nice little earner there for the Prime Minister. Downing Street tonight insists there was no tax avoidance and no underpayment, stressing Starmer's only motive was to let his parents keep donkeys on the land, adding that he never considered tax implications at the time. But the Sunday Times notes tonight that the arrangement avoided the need to value the land for probate and meant it was eventually excluded from inheritance calculations altogether. Okay, so this revelation comes at a time, of course, when Keir Starmer's past criticism of tax avoidance is clear for everybody to see, which he has said previously costs the taxpayer billions of pounds. And the elephant in the room, it comes at a time when Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves are absolutely crippling farmers all up and down the UK with their deranged inheritance tax policy. Let me know your thoughts on this. gbnews.com/your say. I can see the messages streaming in now. Is it time for him to go? He reckons, Downing Street are suggesting tonight, I'll read you their statement in a second. They say they've done nothing wrong.
Well, do as I say, not as I do, is the old Labour mantra, as we've seen all of the time. So yeah, for Keir Starmer, apparently, just wanted his parents to have donkeys on his land. I mean, yeah, such an innocent man, isn't he? Really, really innocent. Of course, nothing to do with taxing, nothing to do with 15-folding his earnings. Okay, as we always say with the Labour government, it's do as I say, not as I do. One rule for me and the others for you. We've seen Angela Rayner at it. We've seen them all at it. Morgan McSweeney as well, the aide. We've seen all of them. They're at it. big time. And this man is falling apart, and he's one of the biggest hypocrites in the whole of British politics. But also, more on the point again today is that this petition now to refute and to overturn the digital ID has surpassed 2 million signatures. Again, people are certainly fighting back, and they've currently got a Labour conference today in Liverpool. Loads of people, Labour people that still attend Labour conferences, but there's mass amounts of people outside, of course, protesting the digital ID. And the thing is with Keir Starmer and this Labour government, they always introduce things during recess. So these things can't be debated in Parliament. So we're going to have to wait, another week till next Wednesday or the next few days until we're actually going to be getting any updates and people coming out against the digital IDs and seeing what's said in the Houses of Parliament. But you can see that it's pretty unanimous across the board that nobody actually does want to see digital IDs implemented within the United Kingdom. Guys, I'm going to take some from the live chat, and I do have to admit, quickly as well. Quickly, before we get into the live chat, troops, Sue Jackson, you might be you're a regular watcher, actually. I didn't see your super chat the other day, so let's revisit your super chat now. I seen it as I signed off yesterday, the other day there. But Sue Jackson, she donated £4.99 the other day on our last live stream and said, "So I'm an old age pensioner with no pension. Is a big no from me." So this is, of course, with regard to digital ID. But yeah, she donated £5 to British Stand. So big shout out to you. Sorry I missed it on the live stream, but of course the right thing to do is revisit it. So yeah, sorry Sue, I didn't get to it on the live stream, but there you go. Thank you for your donation. Let's get into the live chat, guys, and see what people are saying. What do you make of these interviews? What do you make of reform being in Keir Starmer's head? What do you make of his idea that he thinks he's trying to play it now that reform are the party of division, and he's the guy that's a patriot and needs everyone to come together. He keeps on pushing this new agenda, but do you think there is even a competition between Labour and reform? Because I really don't see it whatsoever. Coconut says, it's been 15 months. Someone in the Parliament can see this country is going down and the public are unhappy. With regard to digital ID, this is Blair's idea 1000%. Well, the thing is with Keir Starmer, he's not the man that runs the country as such. He's simply a person that there's someone there pulling the strings for Keir Starmer, and Tony Blair has certainly never really left the picture. He's got his fingers in a whole lot of pies, and actually recently there was a revelation saying that he wants to be heading up the Parliament, the leadership in Gaza. So he does, apparently, once the war ends. So he's always got his fingers in a lot of pies, but digital IDs, of course, was his little baby. We've got a new member. Thank you, Debbie James, for becoming a member and helping support the channel. Big shout out to you. I really do appreciate you. So yeah, thank you for that. Let's go into the live chat, see if there's any more. Yeah, well, 13% versus 30%. I think the latest polls were suggesting this morning that, of course, Keir Starmer is actually the most unpopular prime minister in modern British history. Modern British history in terms of when polling and this sort of stuff was recorded. If you go all the way back to the 70s, he was far more unpopular than Rishi Sunak, Theresa May, Liz Truss, Margaret Thatcher, Major, Gordon Brown. He's the most, statistically as of this morning, is the most unpopular Prime Minister in modern British history. There is no way he can turn this around, and he's of course going to be staying there for the rest of time. Oh wow. Debbie James says, sent 5 British Stand gift memberships. Big shout out to all of you that have received them. Derek Rue, Ali Barnett, Sabah. That was really generous of you. Thank you so much, Debbie James. Chava2UK donates £2 and says he's the unifier, unifying the people against him. Facts. I mean, this is, as we said with the digital IDs, I've never been able to see the left, the right and the centre literally do unanimously come together and actually be on the same side for an in particular subject. I've never seen it. I've never ever seen it. But Keir Starmer, with this digital ID and forcing people to take it, he is now got to the stage now where he has unified everybody from the likes of Reform all the way to the Islamist party, your party, under Jeremy Corbyn, and everything in between, whether that be the Lib Dems, the Conservatives, the Green Party, are all saying that this is a disastrous idea. And everybody, for the first time I think on a subject ever, everybody is on the same page and going, we're anti it. But he's still not listening. So for a guy that's trying to regain the trust of the British public, trying to come up with something, he's literally doing the worst thing. He's nuking himself, because everybody now is turning against him, and even people within his own party are against this as well. Hence why he sends out Lisa Nandy to do the interviews, and she hadn't got a clue what she was talking about when she was asked about questions. So everybody across the board, the British public, are anti it. It doesn't matter if you're the most far left-wing activist in the UK to the most far right activist in the UK, and everybody in between is completely against it. And Keir Starmer's done one thing here: unified everybody on refuting and repealing this digital ID implementation, which is crazy. I've never seen it in all my life. So fair play to him, but I can't see this where he goes from here. I really don't see it. Leo says Nandy is an NPC. Yeah, no, she is. She's the biggest NPC out the lot. Is anybody listening to his bullshit? No one is. I mean, you just have to watch these interviews. As I said, this guy is a massive hypocrite. He constantly lies. And if you're talking about manifesto pledges from over a year ago, the guy has literally U-turned on absolutely every single one of them. 3 months ago, he tried to appease the right side of politics and went, oh, we're becoming an island of strangers. But now he's U-turned on that, and now he's a guy all about diversity and bringing in everybody together. Simply, if he wants to try and get people on side, or at least wants to try and do something, he stops the boats by actually stopping the boats and then going from there. That's it. Reform or grifters? Oh, we've already talked about his inheritance tax fraud. It was just a little bit earlier on in the live stream, of course, the Sunday Times, of course, revealing that bombshell. And as I said at the time, it's, as I said, do as I say, not as I do. That is the motto for the Labour Party. We've seen it in real time. They like to have... The whole thing with socialism and left-wing governments, that's the way that they do. They tell everybody to live a certain way, but actually themselves, they don't live like that at all. You know, it's a Fabian Society pledge. So, yeah, Keir Starmer, the way he wants the world to operate and the UK to operate, when he's finished destroying the country, he'll be jetting off. He'll have a pension for life. He'll be jetting off. Do you think he'll be staying in the UK? In the mess that he's created? Where he's allowed all these third world people to come over? No. He'll be jetting off somewhere else and be living in the sunset for the rest of his time. That's not going to be a problem. But yeah. Wee Fat Shug says, Ben Habib is the only one I've heard saying he will reverse every policy since Blair. That would be big. Well, I don't... The problem... The one hiccup I see with the digital ID as well, by the way, is that they're saying that... Okay. So every party is completely against the digital ID rollout, which is fair enough, right? So everybody's against it. But when I was listening to Keir Starmer announce it officially, he was like, oh, it's going to be brought in and be made mandatory by the end of this parliament. So that's by 2029. So he's going to be pushing this through. It's not going to be coming in effect. Maybe 2028, 2029, it'll be coming into full effect. But he's basing it off the basis that he's going to be staying for another 5 years. I don't know how clueless this guy actually thinks that he is. that he actually thinks that he's going to be getting in for a further term and staying in for another 5 years. So if it's brought in by the end of Parliament, say it is 2028 or 2029, then the first thing that somebody does when they get into power, whether that be Reform, the Tories, Green Party, your party, or Lib Dems, for all I care, then they're all going to U-turn on it. So I just don't get to see what the big idea is if he's not bringing it in at this time. So I'm not too worried about the digital ID because it's going to take a little bit of time for it actually to come out and actually be made mandatory. But one of those situations is that every party is unanimous that they will get rid of it if they came into power. So it's not something we're probably going to be seeing, actually. But yeah, but guys, that's it for me for this live stream, guys. Do let me know your thoughts down there in the comment section below with regard to Starmer on the digital IDs and not being able to come up with an answer for why it's going to stop illegal immigration. The other one, of course, are reform in his head. He's literally, that's all he's obsessed with is Nigel Farage and trying to compete with him. And then what's your thoughts on this inheritance tax fraud as well that's been coming his way as well from the Sunday Times? Do let me know in the comments. Hit like, hit subscribe. We're well on our way to 300,000 subscribers. So if you can hit the subscribe button,